Deb Figg-Sanders is unable to serve tonight, so I will be running this meeting in her absence. I'd like to call the meeting officially to order, and before we begin, can I have a motion to allow Commissioner Peters to participate by Zoom?
So moved.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Commissioner Rob Walker will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The purpose of this public hearing is to receive public input and allow the public to ask questions concerning the authority's proposed millage rate and proposed operating and capital budget for fiscal year 2026. Tonight, we will consider the tentative millage rate and the tentative 26 budget, with the final vote coming in 2 weeks. Copies of our proposed budget are available if you've not already received one. And the proposed fiscal year 2026 operating budget is $124,011,565. The capital budget is $68,600,403. The millage rate for fiscal year proposal is 0.7300. The fiscal year 2026 rollback rate is 0.7023. The fiscal year 2026 proposed millage rate of 0.7300 is 3.94% greater than the rollback rate. PSTA's millage rate is capped at 0.7500. The proposed property tax rate is used to fund the fiscal year 2026 budget. We will now hear from Brad Miller, our CEO.
Good evening. This public hearing has been scheduled so that the general public may be given the opportunity to comment on the proposed millage rate and budget for fiscal year 2026. Notices were posted at Park Street Terminal in Clearwater, Grand Central Station in St. Petersburg, Williams Park, Pinellas Park Transit Center, PSA's administrative headquarters, on all PSTA buses, and on the PSTA's website on August 24th. To date, staff has received 50 comments from the public concerning the millage rate and budget, and those are summarized in your packet. That concludes my statement.
Thank you. PSTA's Chief Financial Officer, Debbie Leas, will give us a presentation summarizing the budget. Debbie, good evening.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone, and thank you for the public for joining us here tonight and for all your comments. So tonight, we are going to be talking about the tentative millage rate and the tentative budget for 2026. This is the first of 2 public hearings, and you have the action items are listed up on there. Now, one of the things that I think is important is this journey did not even start with this fiscal year. This journey has started going back over the last few years, and we have done a lot to prepare for not only this year in 26, but the years going forward. And Brad and I have really appreciated the time each one of you has given us on our one-on-ones, the ideas that we've gotten from you that we have incorporated, and ideas that we have yet to incorporate in this budget and going forward. So I really appreciate it, because the headlines across the country are showing some really dire straits for transit agencies that have not been preparing for the COVID funds to go away. Here at PSTA, we've been weaning ourselves off of this so that we don't have these headlines. Instead, here in Pinellas County, while doing more with less, we are actually doing a lot more. We've done so much by adding service, ferry service, the connected community bus network, where we're going more to a grid system. We're taking advantage of all the technology that we have and adding new technology going forward. And because of that, we are able to lower our millage rate this year to the 0.7300. This is the lowest rate we've seen since 2011. We've been able to save money in many places, grow our revenues. We've saved, and you've been hearing at the last couple meetings about the mixed fleet that we've had. Through August, we have saved around $800,000 in fuel costs. There's additional expense, but very small compared to the savings there on the electricity side. So while we're saving money, we're also growing the business through the ferries. We have been successful in transferring a grant from HART to PSTA for the Cross Bay Ferry service, and we're also very thankful to the cities that are participating, not only in the Cross Bay Ferry service, but the Clearwater service to make it cost neutral for PSTA. So we're very proud of what we are doing here. Now, the operating budget is $124 million. It's less, much less than 1% increase over last year's adopted budget. We even have a surplus of $162,520. Now, the capital budget of $68.6 million has a lot of exciting things in it. First and foremost, we are going to be starting construction on the Clearwater Station. That is something that we have been planning and working on for, it feels like decades. Sorry Commissioner Albritton isn't here tonight because there's been a lot of time spent putting together the design as well as the funding to move forward. As you can see in this picture, we had a very fun afternoon, and for some reason I decided I was going to be in charge of weather that day. I proudly said I could control the rain, and I did not. So despite that, I think I'm going to stick to accounting. And during this, all of a sudden, the skies got dark, the winds kicked up. It was a temporary monsoon, but it didn't dampen our spirits for the day. So we're very excited about that. And we also have a lot of other things in our capital plan, including technology, the ferry boats that we'll be getting with the HART that got transferred from grants, and we also have AI software along with many other amenities and improvements. So tonight, we have two action items that are before us to adopt a resolution for the tentative budget and for the tentative millage rate for 2026. So with that, I will turn it back over to the chair. So thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you. Now is the time for public comments on the proposed millage rate. Please fill out a yellow public hearing card and get it to the staff sitting at the front table. Speakers will be recognized in the order in which the cards are received. And I've gotten quite a few, so we will start with Mr. Garrett Marple, if I'm pronouncing that right. Come on up. If you would, please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Okay, Garrett Marple, 38th Avenue North, 4021 38th Avenue North, that is. And I'm here today to urge you guys to adopt the proposed millage rate. I'm not happy that it's been lowered a little bit, but I'll take it over lowering it further. I ride the 38, I ride the 34, I ride the Sunrunner, and I would ride them a heck of a lot more, especially the 38 if they came more frequently, and that means that we need more funding. We can't, frequency doesn't fall out of the sky, so we need more funding for transit. And I'm okay with the millage rate, increasing. I know that we have this rollback rate going on right now, but people depend on this for their lives, okay? You guys have the membership ridership is like 800,000 or something like that for each month. So there's hundreds of thousands of people that depend on these services every day and can't live without them. And we desperately, desperately need more funding, not less. Okay, there are improvements with bus shelters, there's improvements with frequencies, there's so much stuff that can be done here, and we cannot do that if we continue to lower the millage rate and we continue to cut transit. There's so many devastating effects that could have on our community. There could be, an increase in traffic problems. There could be lots of different inefficiencies in terms of economic scale of, just relying on more and more car infrastructure and less public transit. But long story short, please just adopt the current proposed millage rate and think about next year, guys. We need to get rid of this rollback rate. We need to fund transit and fund it well. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your input. Next, we'll hear from Jillian Bandus. Welcome. If you would please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes as well.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jillian Bandies. You most recently saw me here protesting the last award. I'm glad that was resolved. Best of luck with the project. I have a great relationship with PSTA and the procurement department, and so I'm glad to be talking about things that are a little closer to my heart, which is transportation here in Pinellas County. Me and my son, Theo, who's hiding under the table, we bike to school most days. And we're on the Pinellas Trail. We're on a lot of bike lanes that St. Pete has developed over the last 2 years, 3 years. And I'm here to tell you that this is an important part of our community. I don't need to take my bike. I don't need to take the bus, but I do anyway, because it is a cultural thing that is important to a county that's as dense as ours. And so when we're considering things like millage rate reductions, I would urge you to think about not only the people who need the bus because they have no other transportation, but folks like us who like to take public transportation because it is a lifestyle and it is good for the environment and it is good for our communities. So we are here, we are real. There is a big constituency of us and our children who like to run around like crazy on the stand up here. And then secondly, Secondly, I'm up here as a business owner who pays property taxes. And so I am not reflexively for property tax increases. That's not something I like as somebody who pays a lot of money to the government here running a business. But I will tell you that a couple $1 million for transportation doesn't make me blink twice. This is a priority. We put hundreds of millions of dollars into our roads. A couple mil for public transit is just not that big a deal. I would urge you to keep the millage rate the same and to help me and my friends get around the way we want to. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. John Tyler. If you'd state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm John Tyler, and I live at 3701 13th Avenue North, St. Pete. Just want to come here and say that, yeah, I don't want to see any further reductions to the millage rate. You know, approve the millage rate in the budget. I wouldn't mind paying a higher rate. I use the Sunrunner a lot, my girlfriend and I, to get out to the beaches, to hit the bars and the restaurants, to support the businesses out there, but to get back in a way that doesn't endanger other people on the roadways. You know, it's cheaper than an Uber out to there. I use it similarly to get to the Rays games, or at least I did until the roof blew off. But, you know, the taking the Sunrunner down there allowed me to not have to deal with the traffic, trying to find and pay for parking. I would just ride my bike over, get on the Sunrunner, go to the game, and come back. So, you know, it's definitely something I use. You know, I'd like to see some more bus shelters out there. I'd like to see more frequency. So, you know, I definitely support more funding for the PSTA services. Thank you.
Thank you. Marley Price. Good evening.
Hello, Marley, 5034 32nd Ave North, St. Petersburg. And I just wanted to come today to say, first, I love PSTA. I think it's done an awesome job. I love the Sunrunner. It's been a really cool innovation recently. The most frustrating part about living here is driving. I hate having to drive here. People drive really aggressively. And I love living here, though. I definitely don't want to move. The only thing, though, that does call me to other cities is wanting to be able to get around without getting in my car. So I would love it if we continue to fund public transportation so we have options, especially as the population continues to grow and more people get more aggressive behind the wheel. And we have all these cool things already with the weather, having the trail, and expanding on those things. So these are the things I think our taxes should go to, and I think it's important to keep funding them. Thank you.
Thank you. Marissa Degani, am I reading that right? Your turn.
Oh, yeah, both of them. Hello. Hi, I'm Marissa Degani. This is my son Skylar and my daughter Solstice. We are very happy to be residents in Pinellas County, and I think that it's run very well, but there's always room for improvement, right? And I don't think cutting our millage rate is in the right direction, because we have little kids that can't walk around the streets, they can't bike, they are not building their sense of independence because of this, and I would love to see them grow and feel more confident, because that just reaches into every aspect of their life as adults and how they're going to affect the world. I don't think, putting more money into transportation is a cost. I think it's a down payment. It's a down payment on our future prosperity. I actually work in the tourism industry, and I know that having good public transportation draws in tourism. I don't want to necessarily rent a car when I go to somewhere. If I can just hop on a place and get to wherever I want, I'm more attracted to it, and I think I'm not the only one. And I know 1 out of every 10 job in Pinellas County is because of tourism, so the more we can get those people here, the better I think we'll be doing. And I just want to say I really appreciate what everyone else has said as well, so ditto on all of that. But yeah, I'm not going to use the whole 3 minutes. That's what I got. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Annie Gantley. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Annie. Good evening. I live at 2325 2nd Avenue South in St. Pete. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a senior, and I'm very appreciative that I live in where I live, and that we do have free transportation for veterans in Pinellas Park. I use it all the time. I think we really need to be increasing and keeping the funding that we have for the PSTA for all of our public transit. I have used buses to get to the VA when I've needed to, Bay Pines VA. I see other veterans waiting all the time at the bus stops. They use it a lot. I use the Sunrunner all the time to go downtown, to get out of the house, to participate in activities. It's difficult for me to drive through all that traffic and try to find park somewhere that I can be able to walk to. I also, when I want to avoid any kind of drinking or anything like that, I will take the bus when I go to the American Legion in Gulfport, and I can take the Sunrunner back and forth so I can participate with my fellow veterans as well. I used to use the Cross Bay ferries to meet at the Emily Arena to go to Lightning games with other veterans as well, and I'm really glad that's a benefit that's coming back, that we're going to get that ferry back, because I will not drive across to Tampa now. It's just too much traffic for me, and I really hope that we can find some kind of a fast rail or transportation between Tampa and St. Pete to be able to get back and forth between. That would be a great benefit for the community. And I don't want to take all the time either. I'm a little nervous up here talking, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Is this Jennifer Ruxiello? Am I reading, or is it Rutiello? I can't tell. Rutiello? First name Jennifer?
Maybe not here.
On Burlington Avenue from St. Pete? Does that help? No. Okay. Moving on, Sarah Zukonski?
Hi, 5106 Preston Avenue South, Gulfport, 33707. Yes, hello. I'm here because I'm really concerned about having public transportation. I urge you to please keep the proposed millage rate. My family and I enjoy going, taking the Sunrunner, using the bus, going to the beach, and not having to worry about parking. It's one of the things that we enjoy about this the city is that we can use the bike trails, the ferry, and the bus. And this city is becoming absolutely crowded and almost intolerable to drive all the time. And as someone who doesn't really like driving and doesn't always have a car that is functioning, and who has friends who also use public transportation, not because they don't like to drive, but because they need to for work and that sort of thing, I just urge you to think about people who need to take public transportation and also like all of the kids who are growing up to see a city with possibilities and different ways of doing things besides driving everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Franklin Alves? Good evening.
Hi, everybody. Franklin Alves, 1026 9th Avenue South, St. Pete, Florida. I'm in the Campbell Park neighborhood, so about 23% of our neighbors don't have cars, so they really rely on PSTA. We're in South St. Pete, and additionally, I sit as the membership chair for the Council of Neighborhood Associations, so we represent neighborhoods all the way from Shore Acres to Pinellas Point, from downtown to Pasadena. So we cover a large swath, and so I have an enormous privilege of being able to attend many of these neighborhood association meetings. And with what you're hearing today, the city or the county is this enormous precipice of what's going to happen with how do we move around and navigate. And transportation and reliable transportation that's frequent, that's safe, that's sheltered, that's covered is going to be an enormous part of that. And a lot of that takes investment, that takes money, that takes you all willing to go and take the charge of allowing the millage to stay the same or even increase in certain scenarios, to be able to pay for these things, to give people that reliability, that comfort. Even for myself, as my mom kind of ages and we've moved her down here to St. Pete and she's aging in place, we're trying to work with her to get comfortable to using the bus, but it comes with those intricacies, the frequency, right? Some buses come once every hour, other ones just don't have shelters, or you're just stuck standing in the sun. And these are things that I got to deal with my mom, but that's something that we're asking for all riders to deal with as we ask them to try to make these changes, these little things. And for me, I'm young, right? When I take my truck to the shop and I have to take the bus back home, I can do it reliably. I don't mind waiting in the sun, but that's not the case for everybody. So please don't do any kind of reductions to the millage. Please think about that. You all are representing people that are relying on this service, and it's important to them. And while it doesn't impact us, right? A lot of us all drove to even get here today. There's a lot of people that when I watch these meetings, people that are using the SPC free bus passes to get to work, to get to school, to be able to create this type of social mobility that's important for them. And this is kind of the coolest part about what PSTA does. So just be reflective on that. Think about all those folks that are not able to drive. And so I appreciate everything you guys are doing here today. So thank you.
Thank you. Last comment we have will be from Tad Druskensky. Forgive me for pronunciation.
Hi, 5106 Preston Ave South in St. Pete. Just want to urge you all to adopt what's proposed here. As all my audience members are urging, we do need more funding, not less. So we're going to have to do what we need to get that. I used to work at a hotel on the beach called Grand Plaza. At the front desk there, people all the time would ask me about the bus service up and down the beach. Tourists staying at the hotel, it was a question that came up many times a day. Those tourists love the bus service on the beach. They don't like renting cars on their trips. They don't know how to get around. And that's just a huge feature that we can offer. I also take the bus all the time with my kids, back and forth on Sunrunner from our house to the pier or our house out to the beach. And we also rely on it sometimes just getting around our own neighborhood down by Gulfport waterfront up to our house near Tangerine Street. Just a really convenient little loop. We can just jump on the bus. And I know a lot of my coworkers at the hotels on the beach, they all rely on the public transport. people trying to get the last bus, swatching shifts and things like that, because the coverage of times isn't that great. But still, like, that's how they get home, that's how they get there. It might take a little bit longer, but they suffer through it. And also, we take the Cross Bay Ferry a lot to get to either hockey games or other events on the waterfront, such as the museums over there in Tampa. We love that service. I've taken family members on that, and they love the trip across the bay. So we love any increase in that service is great as well as like the making accommodations for the landing points on both sides. And yeah, just generally, please support public transport. Thank you.
Thank you. That ends the public comment on the millage rate. Do I have a motion to approve the tentative millage resolution to set the tentative millage rate for PSTA for fiscal 2026 at 7.7300?
So moved. Second.
Okay, the attorney will read the resolution.
Resolution 2504, a resolution of the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority fixing the tentative millage rate to be levied for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30, 2026, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. If I could please open the voting system, and can I get Commissioner Peters' vote, please?
I'm a yes.
Is that everybody? 5, 6, 7, 8. Commissioner Walker. Oh, yeah, okay, there it is. That's everybody, I think?
Is that everybody?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, motion passes 9-2. Now is the time for the public comment on the proposed fiscal year 26 budget. Please fill out a blue plastic hearing card and get it to staff sitting at the front table, and the speakers will be recognized in the order in which the cards are received. And we have one from a Marissa Degani.
Who left?
She filled out 2 cards, so
Did she?
I guess she's decided to leave. Anyway, all right, we will close the public comment on the budget. Do I have a motion to approve the tentative fiscal year 26 budget resolution?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Please read the resolution by title.
No, press the button.
Resolution 2505, a resolution of the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority adopting the tentative budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026, for carrying on the duties and obligations of the authority and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. If you'd please open the voting system, and once again, Commissioner Peters, if I can get your vote.
I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Who are we missing?
Who are we missing?
Walker. There it is.
Okay, is that everything? Yes. Motion passes 9-2. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Our final public hearing where we will adopt the final 2026 millage rate and operating and capital budgets will be held at the beginning of our monthly PSTA board meeting on Wednesday, September 24th at 6 p.m., and we are adjourned.
Great job, sir.
Great job. Great job.
Huh?
Very nice.
Thank you.
Good job, yeah. Can I borrow your pen?